Hey guys!
Alright guys, we're here today to do a video that was requested on Patreon by this patron right here. Now, I have to be honest with you guys, when I saw this request for the first time, I thought the name of the song was Nigmar, which I thought to myself, what? Running Christ is a song about a Brazilian footballer?
Yeah.
That went to play for Panathinaikos or Olympiacos or PAOK or AK Athens. I've ran out of teams that I know.
Those are the only ones on FIFA. So.
That's it. I've ran out. I don't know any other teams. And I was like, come on, dudes. If you guys gonna make a song about a footballer, can only be two, in my opinion. I think for Greeks there's a third, but for me, being Portuguese and being a Benfica fan, there's really two. And I'm sorry, Samaris. I'm sorry. My apologies.
It's not you.
It's not you. It's either Karagunis or Katsuranis. I had a Katsuranis jersey.
Ooh.
That's how much of a man. Katsuranis, the guy had like balls of steel. Like he got into a fight with Luizão once. You know you have to have balls of steel if you're gonna fight with Luizão. But Karagunis looked like a pissed off Greek Robert De Niro. I love that guy. Even had the mold and everything. Great free kicks. Those two guys. I don't care what happened between Portugal and Greece in 2004. Those two, Feces, a far third, and then obviously somebody who's probably not even born in 2004. Those are my favorite Greeks of all time. But, well, not to mention the guys in Running Christ. They're also my favorite Greek musicians of all time. Now I pissed off a whole bunch of other Greek musicians, like Yannis Papadopoulos.
I know.
But he doesn't watch these videos, so unless you guys, like, squeal and you know what happens to rats.
I don't want to see him angry.
What's going to happen? His voice is going to go up an octane?
I think it's
going to
go
possible.
down.
I don't think that's possible.
He's going to go from a very angelic voice to a very demonic voice.
I don't think that's possible either. I don't think it's in his nature. All right. Anyways, are you ready to check out some Rotting Christ?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this.
Lachem. Lama sabachthani. Pesach.
Oh, chills. Oh my God. All right. Before we break down this song, I love this track. Before we break down this song, I just want to say one quick thing. One of the highlights so far of 2021 was for me to have a chance to chat with Sakis Tolis from Rotting Christ on the channel, and then he was so gracious. I just want to say this: he was so gracious with his time, even though he's not really doing interviews and stuff. He was so gracious with his time to sit down, chat with me about his favorite bands, and then after the interview to take time to sit down with you and talk to you, so you got to meet him and talk to you about your love for the band and how much you enjoy the music, how much you love the band. My heart goes out to him. Like, he's such a nice solid dude, such a great guy. The fact that he not only took time to do the interview, and he took his time to set up the camera and everything so that everything looked good and whatever, and then to take even more time after that to just call you, have you come in and sit down and talk to him about music, about Rotting Christ, and I can't say thank you enough. So I just want to put that out there. What a great dude. Now, what did you think of this track?
I mean, a lot of their tracks just give me
this is Rotting Christ DNA right here.
Exactly, and it just gives me this vibe of the movie The Bible, or like a bunch of the
Holy Bible. T by
Holy Bible.
T by Holy
Did
Bible.
You know LeBron James wrote a Bible?
Yeah.
King told James.
Me the other day you sent me a picture and it's like, hey, Dad, did you know that King James wrote a book? I was like, all right, dude, all right.
Yeah, I didn't know basketball players took their time to do that.
I didn't know you were doing dad jokes now. But anyways.
And they were any of those religious type movies. That's what it kind of gives me of the vibe that a lot of their songs.
Especially those thrillers. You know those kind of like horror thrillers, religiously based
based movies.
Yeah. Yeah, it always gives me that vibe, like that Omen. Atmosphere. Like Omen. Omen is a perfect example. But movies along those lines, yeah, it gives me always that vibe.
And like not just that, like other type of movies where it's like someone's going through hardship, like the one about Moses, the movie about Moses, and all of them are going through hardship. It gives me kind of like a cinematic.
The Ten Commandments?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Movie
about Moses. How many movies are there about?
There are a lot.
I only know one. I only know the Ten Commandments.
There are a lot of movies.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times you can tell the same story.
God spoke to me and He's given me these 10 commandments for all of you to obey. Have you ever seen that?
No.
That's from Crazy History of the World. It's a Mel Brooks movie. Yeah. So God gives Moses 15 commandments, but as he's coming up with the commandments, he drops one of the tablets, right? So he's like, I have 15, and then one drops 10 commandments. You never see that movie?
No.
Oh, you gotta watch.
We have to watch that one, and we have to watch.
It makes fun of like different portions of like human history. So it starts like with the apes. Then I think from the apes is the Roman Empire. It has that Bible thing there. Then I think it has the Spanish Inquisition, and it finishes off with the French Revolution. It's hilarious, but anyways.
Yeah, we have to watch that one. We have to watch what's the one about Jesus' neighbor or something?
Oh, Life of Brian?
Life of Brian.
Oh, you have to watch Life of Brian. Okay.
Dickus.
Maybe we should watch them at Easter.
Yeah.
Let's go in a different direction for Easter. Instead of going in the traditional direction, let's go in the opposite direction with both of those movies.
We'll make Easter great again.
All right. On that note, let's go back into the song. So
it's just the song just gives you that big atmospheric not church, but like
that cinematic atmosphere.
Yeah, very creepy. And yet it has this choir of just. It feels like this choir of just the dark church.
You know how I described... let me try to describe what you're saying. I describe it almost from that sense that when you're watching a horror movie and there's a noise in the basement and you see the dumb blonde, there's a noise in the basement. Let me go see what it is. And you're like, why the hell would you go... You know what's going to happen. It's not good. Like, walk away from where the noise is. Do you know what I mean? So I find with their music, it has this dark... haunting thing that brings you in.
It has the allure.
It has this allure that brings you in. It's almost like it's not good. It's evil.
It's like you hear this.
But you know what? I'm going in anyways.
Exactly. It's
like
the difference between it though, because if I heard this coming from the basement, I would go to the basement.
Would you?
I would.
To see who's playing it?
Yeah.
To see who's playing. Now, let's go a little bit deeper into the song. This is Rotting Christ DNA through and through. What I love about this specific track, it's two things. This is my perception, and you tell me if you agree or not, or if you see it differently. The way I look at this song is the guitars are very constant from the beginning all the way to the end.
It's kind of like 666.
Has a little bit of that vibe. So I felt like the guitars are not fluctuating at all. They have that tone.
It's the same,
and they're delivering that tone that feels like you're dragging yourself through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you really have to make an effort to. It's almost like gravity is pulling you down and you're trying to move up. Like you have to fight the elements almost.
It has pulling the cross.
A little bit of that. I didn't want to go into a religious sense, but a little bit of that. So it has that feeling. But then you include the drums, and the drums is what's giving the song, with the vocals, it's what's giving the song the ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
Because the drums one time they're like very subdued, and then suddenly, and it's just brutal, like just so heavy.
The guitars are very consistent, yet the drums and the vocals do more of the changing. Where in most songs the drums do changing, but not as much as the guitars would.
So it's almost like if the guitars are a straight line, and then the drums is a sine wave that's going like this, up and down, up and down.
With the drums is the vocals.
And the vocals are doing the same thing, because you have the choirs, you have the vocals, then you have like a deeper vocals that coming in, you have like different approaches to the vocals.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because musically, it almost feels like the song is not changing at all. Like the way it starts, it's the way that it progresses all the way to the end. But the drums and the vocals are crisscrossing. Because sometimes when the vocals get heavier, the drums subdue a little bit, and then when the vocals become more almost atmospheric as far as the choirs are concerned, then the drums pick up the space that was left off, and they become heavier. So you have this straight line of the guitars, and you have the drums and the vocals going like this, crisscrossing each other throughout. So the drums and vocals allow the song to be repetitive from a guitarist perspective, but overall doesn't feel repetitive at all. It feels like you're constantly moving with it. This is their DNA. Like it's not like we've never heard them doing something similar to this.
Like I said, 666 is very similar to this song.
There's a lot of similarities
in the song, in the vocals changing throughout the songs and the drums, but the guitar staying the same.
Very
Even
narrow.
Hallowed Be Thy Name.
Hallowed Be Thy Name has a lot of similarities as well. But once again, it's their DNA. This is kind of like how they build the tracks. And I love that aspect to it. Because you kind of get lost in the atmosphere of the song. The guitars have this way of like showing you the path, right? But for as much as the path looks linear and clear, there's no obstructions in the way. Once you start walking down that path, you find so much resistance, and you find yourself going up and down because of the drums and the vocals and everything that comes in. Next thing you know, you don't even know where you're going anymore. You're just kind of like lost in this dark mist of atmosphere that they create. Like I said, it's haunting, but it kind of pulls you in at the same time. Like it's one of the main things that I really love about Rotting Christ is that they're able to create these really incredible songs, very atmospheric, that have this ability to be melodic, super melodic, but at the same time that melody is so dark, so haunting.
And pulls you in.
Oh, and pulls you in. It's just, you and then you just want more and more and more and more of it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just have like one sitting. You know, it's like cheesecake. We have to eat the whole cake in one sitting. True story. Story checks out.
Story checks out.
All right. On that note, I think we're done for today, right?
Yep.
All right, guys. Come back tomorrow. We'll have more videos for you. See ya.
See ya.